Hi and welcome back to our page. We've seen people wait 6 months to start their care agency in Northern Ireland. 6 months. Not because RQIA was slow, not because of backlogs, but because they jumped into that portal without knowing what they were actually getting into. And look, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here because in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid that. The exact documents, the exact process, the stuff RQIA is actually looking for that most people completely miss. Oh, and quick thing before we start, everything I'm telling you today, free. You can literally pause this video, follow along and do this yourself. But if you want us to handle it for you, stick around to the end and let's get into it. Right, so who's this actually for? If you're a nurse thinking about starting your own thing, if you've been a support worker for years and know you could run a better service than your current employer, if you're a care manager who is tired of working for someone else, or honestly, if you're just an entrepreneur who sees that domiciliary care in Northern Ireland is absolutely massive right now and still want in. First thing you need to understand, Northern Ireland is not England. This is not CQC. If you've been Googling CQC registration and you're based in Northern Ireland, stop. It's a different country with different rules and a different regulator. In Northern Ireland, if you want to provide personal care to people in their own homes, you have to be registered with the RQIA, the Regulation and Quality Improvement Authority. This is not optional, this is law. Operating without registration, that's a criminal offence. Here's the good bit, and honestly, not enough people talk about this. RQI registration for a domiciliary care agency, free. No application fee, no annual fee. Let me tell you why 2026 is actually the right time to be doing this. Right now, there are over 300 domiciliary care agencies registered in Northern Ireland. Sounds like a lot, right? But here's the thing. By 2031, 1 in 4 people in Northern Ireland will be over 65. The demand for home care is expected to double in the next decade. Double. And right now, the 5 health and social care trusts are literally desperate for good providers. They are actively commissioning new agencies because they cannot keep up. So if you've been thinking about this, sitting on the idea, wondering if it's the right time, then yeah, it's the right time. The market is there. The need is there, you just need to know how to properly get in. Before we get into the step-by-step, I need you to understand 3 things. There are the foundations your entire application sits on. Get these wrong and you're going to be sending emails back and forth with RQIA for months. Number 1, the Domiciliary Care Agencies Regulations Northern Ireland of 2007. This is law. This is what tells you what you legally have to do. Number 2, the Domiciliary Care Agencies Minimum Standards. This is where the practical expectations live. This is your Bible. Seriously. If you've not read this document, stop this video right now, go download it from the RQI website and come back. I'll wait. Number 3, and this is the one everyone misses, your evidence has to match what you say you will do. RQIA is not buying promises. They're not interested in what you plan to do someday, they want proof. They want to see that you can actually run a safe, compliant service. Keep that in your head as we go through this. Everything we talk about comes back to these 3 things. All right, let's get practical. Your registration happens through the RQIA web portal at portal.rqia.org.uk. Or you can start your application, you need portal access. You request login details, RQIA validates who you are, and then they issue your login. Before you even request access, make sure you know what type of provider you are, sole person, partnership, or organisation, that you're selecting domiciliary care as your service type, and that all your business details are ready and correct. Sounds basic, but I have seen people get this wrong and have to start over. Don't be that person. Once you have portal access, you start what's called a registration of a new service application. You're going to fill in your service details and upload all your supporting documents electronically. Now here is where most people mess up, and I need you to hear me on this. Don't upload random drafts, don't contradict yourself across different documents, and please, don't leave your service model vague. RQIA is reading all of this. If your statement of purpose says one thing and your policies say something else, that's a problem. If you say you will provide complex care, but your staffing plan doesn't reflect this is a problem. Everything has to match. This is the bit where I save you hours of stress, your application pack. Firstly, you have your statement of purpose. This is not just an introduction, this is a comprehensive document that explains who you are, what services you offer, your aims, your objectives, how you're going to operate. Get this right. Next is your service user guide. This is what you give to people receiving your care. It tells them what to expect. Your full policy suite, And when I say full, I mean full. Safeguarding, medication, complaints, recruitment, health and safety, infection control, confidentiality, risk assessment, whistleblowing, the list goes on. The minimum standard document tells you exactly what policies you need. Next is your staffing plan. How many people, what roles, and how you're recruiting them. What training will they be receiving? You then have your financial viability, so a bank letter, accounts if you have them, proof you can actually sustain this business. Next is your insurance certificates, so your employee's liability, public liability, they're all non-negotiable. And information about your premises. Where will your office be? How will you keep records safe and secure? If you're watching this thinking that's a lot, well yeah, it is. But here's the thing, if you do this properly once, you're set. Rush it and you'll be going back and forth for months. It's your choice. Now we get to the part where people struggle. And I'm not exaggerating, this is where applications die. The responsible person. This is the individual who's legally accountable for making sure your service meets regulations and standards. If something goes wrong, this is the person RQIA is looking at. Your application for this person needs to be evidence-based. Full employment history with every single gap accounted for. Do not leave months unexplained, and do not think they will not notice. They will. Strong references are key. Not your mates who say nice things, professional references from people who can speak to your competence. There's also your medical fitness, enhanced Access NI disclosure, and clear governance plan that shows you understand how to oversee a care service. Here are some red flags that the RQIA sees. Missing employment months, weak references, a vague experience narrative that does not actually prove anything, no clear governance plan, and if you have any of these, fix them before you submit. Your manager isn't just a name on a form. This person runs the day-to-day operation. And here's the thing a lot of people don't realise. In Northern Ireland, your manager must be registered with the NISCC, the Northern Ireland Social Care Council. This isn't optional, it's law. If your manager isn't registered, your application is not moving forward. They also need a level 5 qualification in health and social care management, or be actively working towards it. If you're planning to be the manager yourself, make sure you have this sorted. Here's what the RQIA wants to see in your manager: their qualifications and experience that match your service type, safeguarding knowledge, medication oversight, a clear approach to supervision and quality assurance, NISCC regulation pathway understood and in progress. After you submit, and if your paperwork looks good, you're going to get called for a fit person interview, both the responsible person and the manager. This is basically RQIA checking that you actually know your stuff. They're going to ask you about the regulations, about the minimum standards, about safeguarding, about what you would do in different scenarios. My advice, do not wing this. Read those minimum standards until you can't sleep. Understand the adult safeguarding procedures inside and out. Know how you would handle a complaint, and know how you would handle a medication error. Cannot confidently answer these questions, they're going to wonder if you can confidently run a care service. Make sense? Here's the standard I want you to aim for, and write this down if you need to. If RQIA visited tomorrow, could you show them a working governance system? Not just documents in a folder, an actual system. RQIA inspects on 4 domains. Is care safe? Is care effective? Is care compassionate? And is the service well led? Before you even start delivering care, you should have recruitment files ready with safer recruitment processes, a training matrix and induction plan, an audit schedule, complaints and incident processes, care planning approach documented, data protection and record systems. This is not about being perfect from day one, it's about showing you have a system that works. Let me run through some of the mistakes we see over and over again, the ones that delay registrations for months. Firstly, a statement of purpose which is too generic. You copy something off the internet and just change the name. RQIA can tell most of the time. Also, policies that are not operationalized. You have 30 policies, but you could not actually explain how any of them work in practice. Also, employment history gaps. That's 6 months in 2019 where you did not work. You need to explain why. You also have weak references, and make sure to remember your cousin doesn't count. The manager is not ready on NISCC. You would be surprised how many people overlook this. There's also no clear staffing model or training plans, and how many staff do you need? How will you train them? If you don't know, how is RQIA supposed to trust you? Premises and record keeping not thorough enough. Where is your office? How are you keeping data safe? Make sure to fix these before you submit, and I'm serious, it's not worth the delay. Right, let me give you the quick version if you need to screenshot this. To register a home care agency in Northern Ireland, get RQIA portal access. Complete a service application that is specific and consistent. Build an evidence pack aligned to the minimum standards. Get your responsible person and manager applications right. Pass the fit person interview and be inspection ready before you start delivering care. Do this right and you could be registered in 8 to 12 weeks. Do it wrong and well, you've heard the horror stories. Look, if you've made it this far, I respect that. A lot of people click off these videos after 30 seconds, but you stayed because you're actually serious about this. You can absolutely do this yourself. Everything I've told you today is free information. Go to the RQIA website, download the minimum standards and follow their portal guidance. Put in the work. However, if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have time for this, or I want to get this right the first time, or you just want someone else to handle it because of work, this is what we do. We build full RQIA registration packs, we complete the portal application properly, we prep you for interview, and we make sure you're inspection ready. If you want full support with your RQIA registration, make sure to drop a comment with the words RQIA 2026 and we'll be happy to help. If you found this video helpful, smash that subscribe button, and we're putting out content like this every single week for care providers in the UK and surrounding areas. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe and share this video if you found it helpful.